Welcome to the Doors of Trithius 4th dev blog, version 0.2.8. My name is Joel, and I'm joined here with Jake. We are the lead developers of this up-and-coming game. We're going to dive right into the new content that we have for this latest patch. So, Jake, take us away. What are we looking at here?
So you notice some blood on the ground. That's from our last update. We added blood.
Yes, of course.
So we're looking at a new interaction with blood. You'll notice this little hole over here.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I'm just going to pass a few turns.
Ooh, it gets bigger.
Gets bigger. Oh.
Oh.
And what do we got there?
Something pretty disgusting looking by the looks of it. It's moving over to the blood.
Yeah, he's scooping that up. He's a hungry fella right there. Oh, okay.
Right. So he's eating the blood. I guess.
What this is the introduction of a new faction, a new set of creatures. These are the blood type creatures.
Okay.
And we're looking at a blood leech here.
Sounds pretty disgusting, and it looks also as disgusting. So he just made a little thing down there.
Fortunately behind the door.
But a little hidden, but it's all right.
They can be sneaky like that.
And now there's a puddle of gore that's growing in our room.
It is kind of gross, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, they're kind of gross things. They feed on the corpses of their foes, or anyone, really. Even each other, I suppose.
Yeah, so we don't want to, I guess we don't want to go too far in this demo, but we do want to show our new creatures.
We don't want to give away too much.
We don't give it away, but yeah. They are, so you've seen the spider. The spiders in our existing version, they build nests and they spawn and they kind of do their own thing. The blood leeches is a new faction. They also have their own goal, their own things that they're trying to do in the dungeon, their own new set of behavior, new set of AI. And it's going to add, I think, a unique sort of flavor and mechanics to especially our high-level dungeons.
Okay, right on. So most other creatures, as opposed to the spiders are doing their own thing. They're kind of hanging out. They're mostly just there to be in the way of another enemy to fight. But it looks like these guys are almost playing their own little real-time strategy simulator. And that's because, we're making emergent behaviors happening between our different entities so that you never really know what you're going to hit when you come into a dungeon. So sometimes these guys will be appearing, feasting on bodies or running around doing their own thing, and then other times it'll be a little more quiet. So it just adds another layer to add to
something to keep an eye out for. So
exactly.
You gotta, you're in a dungeon, you got to be careful.
So this thing will continue to grow, but we don't want to show off too much, so instead let's take a little step back and let's look at some of the artwork that inspired us to make this guy. So there's the worm.
There's the worm. We can see its alternate state here. Here's where he's getting angry. Here's where he's scooping blood. And that's one of you were mentioning them kind of doing their own thing, where they actually aren't as aggressive immediately. You can see they weren't attacking me.
True. But
they can enter this aggressive state.
Right, and they get to really use those pointy little teeth, don't they?
Exactly. So, I mean, are you going to attack them as a player? I mean, how are you going to deal with them? That's kind of the question. They're ferocious guys, so...
yeah, you better watch it.
Our blood creatures.
Cool. So that is our new faction of monsters that's going to be coming up. And there's also a little more to that, but you're just going to have to wait and see for yourself because we don't want to give it all away. But it's going to get a whole lot more deadly if you hang around a spot for too long. Moving out of the dungeon, let's check out the next thing on our list here that we got.
Which would be our caves. Joel, you'll notice here we have some new tile type. We're on our overworld, we're on our main map here. And you can see this is our new mountainous terrain.
Right.
So we have some this is walkable terrain, although you move a lot slower on it.
Right, so rough terrain and then impassable terrain.
Yeah, and then impassable terrain. So I'm going to head to the east here, and we are going to find ourselves a cave.
Pass by that little town and the dungeon up top.
And you can see here...
Ooh, there we go.
If I just see this 2.7 hours, if I just hover this, you can see mountains. It'll take 80 turns. So if it's time sensitive, what you're doing, kind of have to add some decision making to your moving on the main map.
Right, you're gonna have to plan for traveling through mountain passes. It's gonna take a while longer.
But talking about the caves, you'll see this cave here. There's a little hole here.
Right. So you can actually enter that.
Yeah, that is our cave dungeon.
Let's check it out. Ooh. It is.
So you'll notice, Joel, we can't see very far.
It's dark.
It's very dark. I'm going to also eat something here.
So we have had the light feature implemented in our game previously. And the vision obviously was taking its course. You could modify your vision, let you see farther into the fog of war, see enemies from farther away. It mostly dealt with the ranged builds, which we can talk about in a second. But now it actually matters how far you can see in terms of your light level, because that's going to prevent you from actually being able to peer into the darkness. So you didn't bring a torch here, but if you had one, you could see quite a bit farther than you can now.
Yeah, this is almost dangerous for me. Another thing to mention is the enemies can attack you from beyond your vision now because we don't have a torch, we don't have light. And actually, I'll just show the stat here. If we go to here, all my stats on my character, if we go to light, so light base 3 because we're in a cave.
Right.
And it doesn't matter how much vision you have. If it's too dark, well, it's not going to do you much good.
Right on. We also got we got mushrooms in here. We've got spiders in here. We also have some quote new enemies, which are actually a reintroduction of our living rock enemies. So there's going to be some more powerful golem type creatures in here, which you may have seen before, but now they have a real home in these in this new art style, this new biome.
Yeah, like they had to be in a cave. I mean, like they're golems, so
yeah, for sure.
They're kind of out of place in our dungeons. Yeah, and another thing, also we're hoping this will encourage some new gameplay types because you don't have doors everywhere anymore. You can't hide behind. I mean, it is the doors of truth. Yes, you can't hide behind a door.
They're not everywhere.
You can't camp. You're out in the open, and who knows what's lurking in the dark.
Right, exactly. So these kind of funneling caves are not going to have doorways as you would expect from a dungeon, and their shapes are going to be much more unique, interesting. They're going to be kind of twisty, windy, and they're going to take you places potentially to other zones in the future. Right now they're self-contained, but that's likely to change in the future. Yeah, so cool. We got caves in. We got light level in. Blood leeches in. Let's check out the towns next. The stuff we've been working on in the towns.
All right, I'm going to head south here. Hopefully my guy's not too hungry.
Starving on the road is never fun. All right. So we got ourselves the town. We got the new town art in. And we also have a little bit of a block doorway there. That's going to be something we're going to have to fix.
We can see our new counters here. Looks like this guy's selling books.
Ooh, and you can click on the counter,
just click that to trade. Kind of our ongoing improvements to the town. Just going to keep adding new art here. Let's see if we can find someone selling some items. Maybe, Joel, you could talk about some of the changes to the balancing for some of the items.
For sure, yeah. While we're here in town checking out some of the new art, one of the biggest things we've noticed in combat in terms of imbalances that I'm trying to aim to fix to kind of make it more fun, more, each playstyle is going to be having its own ups and downs, is the ranged weaponry. So in the past, it's been very powerful. We've been able to consistently take out enemies before they even get to you, which means that armor doesn't really matter so much, and it just was very strong.
Yeah, our playtesters were like crushing with bows, some of them who were just like really getting to the flow of the game.
So we changed a number of things, the most important of which is just a straight up, just a nerf to the accuracy of all ranged weapons. They have about -25, -30% accuracy on all ranged weapons, so you're not going to be consistently hitting with them as much as you were before without using your abilities. A number of other changes that we've made as well. The archery now has a slow. Some of the other abilities will use, higher ammo break chance. Just a bunch of balance changes so that they're a little more fair and not quite so overpowered. And so, yeah, if you took a look at the bow there, I think you're just showing it off. You can see the
minus accuracy,
-25 accuracy.
Also, so I think we're kind of hoping to make mixed builds viable, where someone would have a bow and they'd have a reason to switch when they're closer range to a weapon.
It was a little silly.
Yeah, you just stay on your bow all the time.
Before, there's no reason. If you're good enough bows, why even switch to your sword when you're in close range? Because there was no melee penalty or anything like that, which is something that we're still considering, but we don't deem it necessary at this point. Other item changes I want to go over as well.
So maybe some of the armor changes, a new set of armor.
Maybe we can check out this.
See what this guy's selling
and see if he has any of
Here's
that.
a smithy.
Okay. So there used to be light armor and heavy armor, and now we've swapped it into 3 different categories. There's now a medium armor for all the tiers, tier 1, 2, and 3, and that's going to give you another option for if you don't want quite so severe of a penalty as the heavy armor was granting you in terms of energy and accuracy reductions. It's going to give you a decent amount of protection, but without as many penalties, and it's going to be a bit more of a middle ground for those of you looking to do a hybrid build or just if you're not sure exactly which build you're going for, you just want something that'll kind of be a good all-round armor. So.
And introducing some new stats on the armor here. We have our padded coat, introducing some ice resist, frostbite resist.
Right.
It's going to be useful for World's Dungeon, we'll say.
Some of our new creatures that we've added in our last patch. So that's also going to be some more considerations to make.
Anything else in this patch you want to talk about? I mean, we added some, like I mentioned, World's Dungeon. We added some new rooms to World's Dungeon, some balances, some other fixes, the caves.
Right. Yeah, that covers most of it. There's also some other new armor items. There's also a new loot item, the Ravager's Head, which you'll have to figure out by killing a Ravager. You can
Good luck. Good luck there.
A bunch of fixes and changes that we made. Character name and class are displayed in the quest panel. Some of the hours of the times are displayed more correctly before we had hour 0.
Or test the warrior.
Test the warrior, the most powerful of all testing beings. And we've also added some more lore books and a whole bunch of other just small changes and little beef ups of concepts that we've had going on. And so there's going to be a lot more to change.
Still early. We're doing lots of balancing. There's going to be more revamps to come just to hit that sweet spot and get the difficulty curve where we want it.
Absolutely. Maybe a last thing. We do also have an inn in the town. Maybe you can find it here. So before there was no way to sleep in the town. As of now, most of the towns or most of the buildings are shops, which is going to liable to change. So now we can actually sleep somewhere, and then there's going to be a lot more buildings and whatnot.
Yeah, not a fully finished inn, but at least it's a place we can find a bed in town, which some players are having a tough time not being able to level up, which you need to do at a bed in the towns.
Oh, yeah. And other changes you can see on our website or by opening the game up if you have access to the beta and just checking the patch notes. And there's a whole bunch of new stuff. So lots of stuff to be excited for. Yeah.
Yeah, big patch. Anything else we want to say?
I think that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Hopefully we'll see you in a couple of weeks when we do our next devblog video.
Getting closer to release. August 16th.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can still make that date.
Yeah.
Right on. All right. Have a good night, guys.